Hi, everybody. Deb Coleman here. And I almost forgot to do a live stream today. And I had made a promise to you. Yes, you. Stop looking behind you. I am talking to you that I would show up and share some hopefully valuable content to help you with your content marketing strategy. And more than that, attracting more of your ideal clients and converting them to your best paying customers. So we all want more of that. And one of the things I wanted to share about today was social media. We talk a lot about this in the Content Conversion Lab group program that I run, and how using social media is one of several strategic places to share your content in a way that reaches more of the people that you're meant to serve. And one of the costly content mistakes that people make regarding their social media is not having a strategy, or not having a clear strategy that connects back to their core purpose and their core service and helps people engage with them and interact in a way that will ultimately lead to sales if they are in fact your ideal clients. So how do you go about doing that? And you'll see from the little description I put here today, hi, thanks for tuning in, Laura, that I wanted to talk about connecting the dots on social media. And what I mean by that is, well, it can mean a whole lot of things, but some specific areas that I find important in our social media presence is having not only the plan, but giving some context when you post on social media. And Laura's saying that strategy is gold. I hope so. That's how I feel about it. I love it. It's one of these things that you can go deeper and deeper all the time and get more advanced. And you can also start out simply, and even just small strategic actions can have a big impact. So that's the reason I love it. It's really useful to people at the beginning of their entrepreneurial journey, as well as to those that are much more established. And I actually work with people all along that continuum, and I enjoy every stage of the process. So connecting the dots, meaning that when you're thinking about what to share on social media, it should directly relate to what you do in your service for the most part. And when it doesn't, you really need to give it some context as to why you thought it was important to share. It's okay to share your favorite music or a book that you're reading that has nothing to do with business, because that's who you are as a person, and that is relevant. However, it's also useful to explain that a little bit to people so they know why you're sharing it. Especially if you're sharing about a different business, sometimes it causes some kind of brand confusion, because people think, well, I thought she did this, but now she's spending a whole lot of time talking about that. So if you take away one thing from today, it would be to give your social media commenting, posting, presence, context. The other thing I'm not a huge fan of is when people drop memes and they just leave them and go. And sometimes maybe they're self-explanatory and that's going to work fine. It's humorous or whatever. But sometimes, you know, if it's a part of what you do in your service, say a little bit about that. Connect the dots for the people who are brand new to you. Explain that this is a tip I use with my clients all the time, or this is one of my favorite ways to get started doing XYZ, or whatever, but give it some context for people, and then connect the dots if there's a natural pathway, which hopefully there is, to what it is you do in your service. This is something I do in my VIP days, or this is something I have in the group program that I run, or this is what I start my day with every day. So a lot of times we can relate back to how we use our own service in our own lives or in our own business. So give people some context, connect the dots, start a conversation. When you do and give that context, you allow people to know a little bit more than what you're just dropping there, what the image is or what the quote is. You're telling them a little bit more about you and about why you chose it, why it was important. And it often will lead to conversation, which is exactly what we want to have happening on social media. It's a way to connect with new people. It's a way to nurture the relationships with people we already know, not just potential clients, but referral partners, colleagues, and such, people we want to just get to know better. So post in a way that invites people to respond. Doesn't always mean it has to have a question. It doesn't always mean it has to have a strong call to action, but that it's interesting enough or engaging enough to get things started. And then by all means, please go back to those posts and engage with what people are doing there. If they're taking the time to share your content with their community, please be sure to go back and acknowledge that, thank them for that, personalize it, tag people, let them know that you notice, that you're paying attention, and that you appreciate it. And do the same with theirs. Now, I'm not big on follow for follow or any of that kind of stuff, but if you want to support them in turn, at least take a look about what they're sharing. And if there are things that you feel are helpful or useful to your community, please consider sharing it in your community and tagging the person so they know that you shared it. Not everybody will go back and look at the share buttons and figure out the breadcrumbs, which I absolutely love to see where it goes and who did what, but not everybody knows how to do that. So make it easy, tag them, tell them, I'm sharing something from so-and-so. So use social media with strategy if you want it to attract and convert more of your best paying clients. If you're using it just for fun and personal reasons, then maybe you don't care about strategy. But those of us using it for business need to have a plan about how we're using it, what we're posting there, what our intention is to have happen, and make some invitations to people to connect further beyond the social media platform. Make sure things connect from your website to social media, to other platforms that you show up on. It should be a consistent, aligned message and presence. And that's part of how you can create a strategy that really works for you 24/7, that you don't always need to be front and center for your content, which is the core of all your messaging, to really do the work for you and help attract more of the right people. I hope that this is helpful. I hope it helps you avoid some of the 3 costly content mistakes that business owners are making. I'll drop a link in the comments where you can grab that guide and check it out for yourself. Please let me know what you think. Let me know your questions. Let me know your thoughts. And if you disagree, let's have a conversation. There's nothing I would love more than that. So thanks so much for tuning in. See you next time.